Conga, for all of these guys between now and January at the very least. You've just got to take them when they're presented. If you don't, you've got yourself to blame, innit? Don't want to hear no woe is me BS. So it is what it is. On that though, people, latest news. Let's start getting into what's affecting everything really and truly. What's going on in the world of football? Let's not waste any time. I want to see it. 50 likes, people. Can we get to 100? Why is the screen not sharing with you guys? Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, first things first. Japan have named their 26-man World Cup squad, people. Tomiyasu is there, so nothing to worry about there. That's their World Cup squad in general. Sole representative of Arsenal in Tomiyasu. Then again, some of you might remember Takuma Asano. He's now at Bushel, but he was signed at Arsenal once upon a time. So, yeah, big up all of Arsenal players in there. Big up Ito as well, because you're at Reims with Balogun, and Balogun spoken about how you've kind of not taken him under his wing, but you've built up a good relationship. So, big up you. Hope you do all right as well. Reece Nelson has said he targets a new contract. I would love to commit to the club. Nelson has said he is fully focused on convincing Arsenal's decision makers that he's worthy of a new contract. The 22-year-old's current deal is due to expire next summer, but he has stated he is keen on extending his stay at the North London club just days after scoring a double in the Premier League win over Forest, people. Came off the bench after 27 minutes, got a single assist and 2 goals. He's living. He said, I never doubted myself at this football club. Arsenal is a team that I've been at since I was 8 years of age, and I have a very, very strong bond and love for this club. Of course, there have been times where I've been a bit down when I haven't played or been on the bench, but my plan has never been for me to leave the club or say that I have no future here. I'll do everything possible to get here. I only have some months left on my contract. Getting a new deal would be amazing, and I would love to commit to the club. Any opportunity I get, I'm going to try and take and just do my very best and just keep helping the team, really. I mean, that is very different from when all the others talk about new deals or having. He's told you what he wants. He said, I feel like I've matured and learned. I feel it's helped my game quite a lot playing in big games, especially big teams like Roma in the final of the Conference League, and especially going to teams like Ajax with atmospheres I haven't really experienced, which only helped me. So, yeah, I'm grateful for Feyenoord for giving me the opportunity to play, and it's just made me hungry to go back to Arsenal, smash the like button, people, and play much more now. I'm 22 now, turning 23 soon, and it's just about getting the rhythm of playing much more games now and trying reaching a new level. That would be great, you know, if you, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, etc., Vieira, Lokonga in his own way, and everyone can keep giving Arteta positive headaches, then it's all good, innit? I feel like I'm at a level where now I'm still not at the rhythm that I would like to be, and I just want to get to a rhythm where I'm playing regularly, and that's only going to happen by forcing your name in the lineup, people. Obviously, yesterday you lot all obviously saw this, people. We've been linked with Mavidenko, people who could be going Brighton. Apparently, City and Arsenal have considered him previously, so should Brighton's interest develop, they might not be alone in the pursuit for him. But on the topic of contracts, people scrolling all the way up, Arsenal have progressed from formal talks to actually starting negotiations over presenting Saliba a new deal, which, as somebody said, we hope Saka, Saliba, Martinelli, and everybody else signs a new deal. You know, I would say Edu at this time as well to go with Arteta's new deal, and anyone else. Stability, long-termism, and all of that sort of stuff there, people. Obviously, Saliba is in talks for a new deal, people, and he's doing his thing now. The 21-year-old's in our starting lineup. Arsenal's hierarchy want to extend his contract, which is due to run until 2023, but has the option of a further 12 months. He did say a few weeks ago they talk a little bit, but apparently, you know, preliminary talks between the teams and his reps over a new deal have begun. But since those times, those early talks have since turned into formal negotiations, and Arsenal have now made an offer. And that's typical business. The first offer probably is going to flop, but yeah. There is no agreement so far, but the dialogue will continue as the North London side try to tie down a player who appears to be fundamental to Arteta's team and has many admirers across Europe, as he would be, people. But that's what I've got on there. Scrolling over to here, people. What's this? Where is this, the Mikel Arteta thing? Yeah, let's start here, people. What are you lot saying before I share the screen? Oh, what's here? Keep playing the way we are, and once Champions League qualifications will bring big names. I hope so. Saliba will sign, in my opinion, but I got to be honest, he's of such a high caliber that I'm not used to having his type at the carpet. Can't lie, he's a quality player, but I do think, as much as I go around with, I do think people are doing too much with the Saliba praise, if I'm honest. I'm excited about Patino as he's putting in good performances at Blackpool, basing this off YouTube vids and articles. Wenger brought in Arteta to replace Cesc. DG, imagine if we get João Felix, what will Arteta do? Thoughts on Marcelo Flores' loan, DG? Barely playing, but it is what it is. Come off the bench the other day and assisted a goal, but barely playing. But this is the cold, harsh reality of football, really. You know, I think they've sacked their manager recently and doing other things. So this is the cold-hearted reality of football, man. Saliba is a good player, but got more to improve. Exactly, man. I don't know. There's a lot of hype, man. And again, I love it. I buy into the hype. I think the man has colossal potential. I think he could be a world-class centre-back. But people move like Saliba is there right now. People behave like, you know, when I hear best defender in the league, best defender in the Premier League, best defender in the Emirates era, he's not that right now. He's not that right now. He's got potential to be that. It's not helping him. And he said it himself, he's been a bit sluggish the last 3-4 weeks, really. I like it, but keep the man's feet on the ground. He's got a lot to work on. There'll be a lot of trials and tribulations for the young man, but he's doing all right. In fact, on that as well, Saliba's actually spoken about that as well. Where is it? I'm not good. Arsenal player says he knows he has been playing poorly for the last month. And he's very honest. I remember last February when he was at Marseille and he was talking about, I've had a bit of a wobble. But he is showing great consistency. There is a lot to like about Saliba. Do not get it mistaken. But a 21-year-old is going to behave like a 21-year-old. It's not an LT. It's not an L. By all means, be praised with Saliba. Football is emotional, but we got to keep our feet on the ground. He's been here for 11, 12 games. We want him to be here at least 5 years or so. He's got to go through those tough moments, and he's reacting well. When he makes mistakes, he reacts well. He is a colossal defender on his day. He can be a world-class talent, in my opinion, but he's not that right now. In terms of, well, maybe not so much the last couple of games, but in terms of form and that, he's been one of the best defenders in the league. But do I think he's a top 5 defender in the league right now? No, I think he'll probably tell you he's not either. I don't think neither of Arsenal's centre-half pairings are there. Neither do I think with Ben White. Again, the way they're playing, do not get it mistaken. And one day they could be in there, but I don't think there's that. And I'll always, in fact, being shameless, I'll probably put them all there, but you were top of the league in that. But you get the point. And I like how this is the hunger, because, again, not hype the thing. If Saliba builds into the hype, which I think his mentality isn't that, then you're not going to improve. He's saying it. I'm happy he's saying it, because fans try to kill me when I say these things. But anyways, he admitted he needs to be more consistent for Arsenal. Yes, for sure. Since 3 or 4 weeks, I'm not good. I know that. I work every day in training to be more consistent. I'm a new player, but if I want to become a great defender, I have to work a lot and be more consistent. And that's great. And I'll always admire him, because he's been playing with a couple of injuries at times as well, as Mikel said, and not always trained and put in great performances. And we're going to need you at Stamford Bridge. Don't get it twisted. And Wolves to come as well. So, yeah, shout out William Saliba. Shout out the Arsenal women's team as well, people. Obviously, as they beat West Ham yesterday, 3-1. Well, I say yesterday, 2 days ago, but you get the point. Completely off topic. Smash the like button. But Jesus has assisted 13 goals in the Prem since the start of last season. The third most of any player after De Bruyne and Salah with 17 and 16 respectively, people. Don't know how we got here. That was Jesus' statistics against Forest. They're here, so we might as well. Youngest average starting 11, Arsenal at 24 years of age and 203 days old. And then you look at Southampton and Leeds, they're the next youngest, then Forest and Brentford, folks. So there you have that. Apparently, you know, for some that are preying on Vlahovic's downfall, you lot will love this. Apparently, Barcelona are confused by Rafinha. He's amazing in training, but he can't seem to show his talent in an actual match. Keep stinking up the place, please, so we can circle back for you next summer. Hopefully they clip him. But yeah, it is what it is. Back into this. Arteta admitted leaving Arsenal is inevitable as Barcelona are hiring him as a boss. What has this said? Well, obviously he'll one day be sacked. There's a beginning and an end for everybody. He may be the youngest boss in the Prem, so it's even more naive to expect him to stay here for time. Like, I hope in the modern day Pep and Klopp, I hope we get that out of him, but it all depends, people. As a manager, probably the biggest fear is getting sacked. I made a very conscious decision the day I made the decision to become a coach. I said it will happen today, tomorrow, in a month's time, in 10 years' time. I don't know when it will happen. That cannot drive my emotion, and this cannot be the reason why I do certain things or not. For me now, the fear is to let people down. Amen. Very mature. He's been linked with Barcelona, allegedly, people. But where does that really go? Because apparently the same article is said on Sport. Barcelona have no interest in parting ways with Xavi before the end of the season. And again, for Mikel Arteta, again, it's Barca. You can't reject that. But logically, Barca's a turbulent time. And again, Arteta's got a great job at Arsenal, not just because he's managing Arsenal and he got a job really where he probably weren't cut out for. He's had to learn on the job and learn fast. And he's been given a lot of responsibility, not a head coach and manager. You're not going to get that at Barca. It's very political at Barca, and you're joining mid-season. We don't know Barca's fortunes, not where the champs is concerned, but they might change their fortunes around, God forbid. But ours might go, our season might go down the toilet. But does it make sense? The first minute you've had a blistering start to Arsenal, when it finally looks like the building blocks are starting to be placed, why would you want to leave mid-season to join a turbulent Barca team? Surely you wait till the end of the year. I don't know anything, but that's just me, innit? And again, it is what it is. He said there's always going to be speculation when there are elections in Barca. It's a huge team. And obviously, I was raised there as a player. They're always going to be linked. But I'm focused on the job I have to do here. We have a lot to do. I'm really enjoying it. I feel privileged to manage this football club. And I'm extremely happy. And obviously, he did sign a new deal last term. Let's see what this article Sport is saying specifically. And again, they're not necessarily the best when it comes to credibility. But apparently, it is not for now, much less because the club is clear bet is and will be Xavi. But Barcelona, the work that Mikel Arteta is doing at Arsenal, a club with the loser band in recent years. Less said that, pattern up yourself. Barcelona, boy, whatever you say, we didn't get embarrassed by Frankfurt. Behave yourself, people. So, yeah, this is just talked about that. It's not just us. If Mikel keeps doing what he's doing, Pep's not going to be at City forever. He's going to get linked with them. He's going to get linked with here, there, and everywhere, people. And we all know about his initial education was at La Masia and all of that, people. And yeah, people, it is what it is. Apparently, Arteta is fine where he is and he's not going to move from there. And the plan is for Xavi to be at Barcelona for many years. But the club has well marked his name for the future on its own merits. Well, fair enough. Good for us, really. So it makes sense. So we can quash that nonsense, really. Let's see what Reece Nelson's thing is saying. Here, is it any different from The Athletic? No, I think this is the same thing. He said, we never saw this bit. I spoke with the boss before the start of the season and he was very clear with me. He said he has seen a transition in my game and my attitude and just my whole profile as a player, which he really likes. So hopefully it's your coming of age now, bro. And he wants to bring that into the team and he thinks that can really benefit the team. And there were no talks with me about leaving in the summer. Fair enough. He said he's matured. And we've spoken about this as well. If I get to play for the team, do well, of course. It's hard coming on for 5 to 10 minutes. And of course, I'd like to play much, much longer. But any opportunity I get, I'm going to try and take and just do my very best and just keep helping the team, really. Fair enough. And you should get a start against Thingy, really, if I'm honest with you. We've seen this as well. Let's see what this is as well. Let's get into all of this. I think we've got a lot to go through with this, people, with this Falcao Torres thing. Saka still needs to master the left foot finesse, just shooting on target, man. Saka will have a Vinicius type of explosion once he patterns his finishing. I hope so, but that's a big shout. Big up DG. Nelson has always been good enough, but never took his chance. I remember in the cup when Martinelli was injured in the warm-up. Nelson started. He missed a good chance to score and flopped it. Rafinha, another of those players who performs best when he's the best player in a small team. Small fish in a big pond thing ain't for everyone. DG, who do you think has improved the most under Arteta? For me, it's Martinelli. His game has matured. There's a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, Saka and Smith Rowe dropped their first goals, like respectable goal scoring seasons under them. Martinelli looks like if he continues, he's going to have that. And I'd agree, Martinelli's up there. Personally, I think he's got a big tune out of Gabriel as much as you can. Don't think you can't not throw Granit Xhaka into that. Yeah, you could. I would sing the praises of Ben White, but I would say either to the young Haylen boys, and because of their thingies and that, really. I think he's improved Eddie as well. Nothing to scream and shout about, but he looks more of a useful player. And the Eddie we saw at the tail end of last season, where the domestic campaign's concerned, is more than we've seen at Eddie since he's been about. Let's be honest, him, Nelson, Smith Rowe, Saka's the only one that youth thing straight away. They were all kind of Joe Willock them times. They were all kind of at Arsenal, but not at Arsenal. And Smith Rowe went on loan, then he came back and he signed himself. Eddie took advantage of the tail end of last season. You hope Nelson's laid down a marker and he picks up where he's left off with the last game and continues. And the rest of it, really. Martinelli, 1 minute he couldn't even get in the team. Now he's there and it's yours to lose. I think he's got to tune out all the young players, but I'd probably say Xhaka, because Xhaka, for the whole of 2022, has a debate to be our most consistent player. I know Saka deserves that as well. But he's been one of our most consistent players, and I know he's scoring goals and that this year, but he was kind of doing this role last year. And obviously, Xhaka is Xhaka. There's only so much blood you can get from a stone, but he's enhanced he's found the system that enhances Granit Xhaka's pros to the game and kind of hide his cons. And he's got a good relationship with what's going on. And, Xhaka's done well. We've turned a new leaf somewhat. Again, there's certain things that you can't go back in time, but probably say Xhaka still, man. Arteta's doing a great job, bro. He's doing a great job. Big up Sacco as well for that as well. Apparently, Arsenal's technical director, Edu, will meet for Facundo Torres' reps to discuss a potential move this weekend. Torres is very keen on a move to the PL leaders, and we saw him score against us in pre-season, people. So, yeah, it is what it is. Keeping up the Facundo Torres hype, people. Torres has already explained how he'd fit into Arsenal's team ahead of January transfer talks, people. He's versatile. He can play on the right, players at 10, and I think can play on the left. 22 years of age. If you've done your scouting, do your thing. But he said, pardon me, I'm a forward and attacking player that likes to play out on the wings. But one of the things I love to do most is just attacking that goal and going to goal. Inside the box, outside the box. It's one of those things where I really love, pardon me, getting towards goal. I'm a player that loves to be on the ball all the time because if I don't have the ball, I'm waiting for it. And I'd love to be on the attack and affect the game as much as possible on the ball. I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans were sold already at that, innit, really. Smash the like button if you haven't. This is a recap of yesterday first. We've got a few to go over. Arsenal target for Facundo Torres transfer in January as Saka competition with talks held, people. And again, it all depends on what they're going to charge us, but hopefully this means that 50 million budget allegedly can stretch towards the midfielder. Arsenal are due to hold talks with the Uruguay international's agent as they target a right winger to provide comp for Saka. This season in MLS, he's got 10 assists and 9 goals, 22 years of age, people. Apparently, a move for the 22-year-old is still at an early stage, and it remains to be seen whether they press ahead with a deal for him after talks with his reps and Orlando. As I said, he played and scored against us in pre-season. They signed him for 7 million, people, 7.7 on a 4-year deal with an option of a 5th. So they have got a bit of a wiggle room. Apparently, it was Tony Lima who identified him to Edu, people, and we're doing what we can to try and get this man, really. And obviously, hopefully, it's not quite Pedro Neto, Rafinha, the household names, but I personally don't care how we find the players, just make him be the right player, innit? I don't care if they come from League 2, the Academy, MLS, South America, Premier League. Just get players that help us. And clearly, 22 years of age, there's clearly a lot of development. Joining 6 months into the Premier League season, he need to adapt. But, if he can do a thing to go with Nelson trying to do a thing as well, then it is what it is, really. But, yeah, away from that, sorry, people, where is that? That's Mesut Ozil. I'm trying to find, where is it? Again, Facundo's agents confirm imminent talks with Arsenal over a potential move for the highly rated winger after a debut season in MLS. He's cutting out already. I respect it. Apparently, his agent has confirmed that he will have talks with Arsenal over a potential transfer, people. The Gunners have shown an interest in the Uruguayan after the 22-year-old impressed, obviously, this season. 9 goals and 10 assists, as I said, in his debut year for the 22-year-old. Apparently, it's been reported previously that we're set to hold talks, which has now been confirmed by his agent, according to ESPN. The report suggests that his agent, Eduardo La Salvia, will have a meeting in the coming days with Arsenal scout Tony Lima to discuss the possibility of a potential move to the Emirates. That kind of correlates to what we just saw allegedly with what Charles Watt said. Big up Sacco and everyone else for making sure we don't miss any news. Apparently, he did, however, reveal that there are no advanced talks from Arsenal for Torres, but there's interest. So initial talks are yet to begin in it. We're sitting down, probably initial talks, initial lunch, and then in terms of dotting I's, crossing T's, medicals, transfer fees, the structure of the payment, we're a long way away. But it makes sense. Obviously, away from the obvious, we're owned by an American. If you can bring a franchise player from the MLS, it probably brings a lot of casual MLS followers over, because I don't know if he's one of them, but in present day, there's a lot of football fans. Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, them man, they are the best example. Salah as well. There's a lot of football fans that just support players. And maybe he's not them man's level, but maybe there's that as well. So there's probably some marketing reasons. And when I hear Uruguayan, South American hunger, I'm for that. We've already seen the fruits of our labor already. I'm for that. Make it happen. So scouts, do your scouting thing, because especially when it comes to us trying to buy these household names, it always flops. So maybe with the Champions League, we can afford to punch for some household names, but bring this guy to the carpet, really and truly. Simple as that, people. So let's click on the actual ESPN article and see if there's anything there. Cut that. He's on Arsenal's radar. What has specifically he said? Well, there's still nothing advanced, which is the main thing, people. And obviously, he's probably going to be in England because he's the same agent of Pellistieri, who probably is going to move on as well from Man United on loan or something. I think that with a good World Cup as well, we think his departure is imminent. That's in relation to my man. Fair enough. So, yeah, there's that. And this was yesterday. Arsenal have not contacted Orlando City over a potential move for the star and Uruguay international Facundo Torre. I'm told rumors suggesting the move is very close and not true. Many clubs have Torres on their radar. Orlando expect him to be in the away for Champions League one day. And that's great, but that doesn't mean it's not a talks. Obviously, we're nowhere near bidding. You know, we're talking to the agent. Does he want to sign for us? What would you expect his sort of contract to be like? You know, what he could expect from Mikel Arteta, Edu, and joining Arsenal, how he'll get better as a footballer, all that presentation stuff. You know, we'll get his interest. And playing devil's advocate, Edu should be sitting there and say, if they play hardball, how prepared are you to force the move? So it's seeing the feasibility. We're nowhere near drawing up rough, I's and T's in relation to a contract. So we're not going to place a bid. That's something Arsenal done. So we're not going to contact Orlando City right now. So premature right to now. But yeah, people. Apparently Saka injury. Well, I think that's that in relation to him. But Saka injury boost as Arsenal tell England medics that the early signs are positive after he limped off with an ankle problem against Forest. But there's still some apprehension until test results are through. So as I said, we hope for the best. We prepare for the worst, people. On that as well, people, not even on that, completely off topic. We're watching Liverpool-Napoli at 7:40 UK time. If you can't be there, smash the like button, people. But back with Saka, let's see what's going on here. Apparently, the report now claims the winger could feature against Chelsea on Sunday. That would be great. So we hope he's all right. Saka has undergone precautionary tests, meaning there remains some apprehension behind the scenes. Indeed, there was similar positivity surrounding Chelsea right back Reece James's ankle last month, but scans showed that an alignment was far more worse than first feared. Hopefully, that's nothing to do with Bukayo Saka. Unless scans uncover some unexpected damage, the FA are hopeful the 21-year-old will be available for selection come the World Cup, people. But again, a lot of us don't care about the World Cup, care about Sunday against Chelsea. You know, if he's not there, we hope Nelson keeps doing what he's doing or whoever plays. But we want to see Saka back in it. And I know all the people talking about, Saka needs a rest and this, that, and the other. They're not wrong. But Saka's injury didn't happen as a result of not being rested. His ankle and shin were kicked. So, yeah, we'll have to see, people. And you don't want to lose a man that's contributed 4 goals and 5 assists in 12 outings. Careful. Some fans said Saka needs to be dropped in that. When asked if Saka was a World Cup doubt, Arteta said, hopefully not. It was a bad kick right from the beginning. He was limping. I don't see any further than that. Let's see how he is in the next couple of days. So with us playing on Thursday, you'd imagine Mikel Arteta is braced to tell us stuff. Charles Watcher said Arsenal to hold Torres transfer talks as the Gunners ponder January move for the MLS star, people. We're exploring a move for Facundo Torres with talks scheduled over the 22-year-old this weekend, people. So let's see what's going on. Apparently, Lima, a scout, has now set up a meeting between Edu and Torres' reps to discuss a potential move, with Arsenal known to be in the market for a player who can cover and competition for Saka on the right-hand side of attack. That meeting is due to take place this weekend, Go has learned, with Torres very keen on the move to the Premier League leaders. Discussions are at a very early stage, however, with reports suggesting a deal is imminent, believed to be wide of the mark, people. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regard. So hopefully we get a move on in that regards. I've seen this already. I'm a forward and attacking player that likes to play on the wings, but one of the things I love to do the most is just attacking at goal and going to go inside the box, outside the box. So that's something very positive for me to hear, people. I mean, we'll look at what Fabio Vieira's allegedly said as well. But yeah, nothing advanced. Big up Tomiyasu for getting into the Japan squad as well. So nothing advanced there. Rogers confirms one of the best players will not leave Leicester in Jan. This is obviously in relation to Telemans. It's not something we are thinking of and not anything the club have said we need to do. We don't want to be offloading our best players, that's for sure. So there's been no hint or indication we need to generate money and move him on. But of course, there's a business side to the club that they will look at. So yeah, hopefully we're able to get them. But with them fighting relegation, would you really want to let him go at this moment? Apparently, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Spurs, and a couple of other clubs have been linked with Benfica, potential free agent Gilmondo. In fact, City, Inter Milan, and Juventus people. For a free agent, why not, man? Or a cut price in Jan, why not? Since the beginning of the season, he's been playing at a very high level. I think he's extraordinary, full of class, says his gaffer. He can defend, attack. He's very reliable with a very good attitude, physically strong. It's important to have him in the team, and I hope he stays at Benfica. As you know, speculation is part of football. It's the players who have to make their own decisions. I asked him to stay more years at Benfica. Their decisions the player makes. So, yeah, there you have it. Reece Nelson, we've already seen this like a game time thing, really. So, yeah, there's nothing there in that regards. What's been said here? William Saliba's Arsenal contract explained as chief negotiator aims to reach agreement. We've made our first move. Apparently, we've got an option to trigger taking his contract into 2024. So, yeah, we already knew that. So, yeah, apparently we've offered him a formal offer, but negotiations are premature in it, really and truly. So let's get rid of that. I was reading that. Big up Ozil, but no one really cares about what Ozil and his agent have to say. It's got nothing to do with Arsenal at this moment. Apparently, Arsenal on course for record Prem points tally with predicted final table revealed if they continue at the same rate. We're not going to continue at the same rate because we're not going to win every game. So this supercomputer BS means nothing. You know, we've only dropped 5 points from 12 games. I would have taken that. And I therefore hope this projected thing is true. Arsenal finish on 99 points. That's a first league title in the Emirates era. That's 99 points, which is a record. Bro, that's top 4. That's madness. But come on now. It's not going to happen, innit? You know, it's not going to happen. Like you can see in the headline, if we continue at the same rate, which I hope so, but it's not going to be that, is it? They said you was better than Mesut Ozil. You're following Ozil going to Turkey and going outside, but you did worse than him. Man said, Dele Alli, you know. You muppet. But yeah, away from that, you know, that seems to be that really. It don't seem like there's anything new. Let's see what's going on here. Is there anything new where Arsenal's transfer gurus are concerned, all the Twitter accounts? Nope, it's just my man stuff. You're probably not going to find anything, are you? So yeah, man, it seems like that's that really. That seems to be that. Is this a long read? You know what, we started, so we might as well finish in it, people. The board might let us down, unfortunately. Yeah, same club Valverde came from. I hope Marseille buys Tavares. Can't bear to see him play for us again, Harsh. We don't need to be the greatest name out there. We need the person to do the job for the team. I can't even say his name. Facundo is that guy, bring him through. Amen. Big up Manny as well in the cut. Respect, Anthony, man. I hope you're well. Is Arteta mad or what? Why is he swapping Aaron Ramsdale with Manuel Neuer? I don't know what you're talking about there, man. I'm very optimistic, bro, but come on now. Like, come on now. I'll leave it to you. Look, I'm optimistic about what we're doing, but I'm not going to get excited off a supercomputer, which is calculating the same rate Arsenal is going at. So what happens if we lose 2-3 games? It's not going to be the same rate. Let's just keep going. Even if the supercomputer says that, we need to go out there and win. Let's see what Fabio Vieira has had to say, people. My mum, he says with an impish smile, I have always been a mummy's boy. My mum has always been my biggest supporter, a fighter and a warrior. I hope you need to display these things. My mum and dad were both an inspiration to me when I was a child. Since a young age, I've been crazy for football. And from the moment my dad saw I really liked football, he decided to sign me up for my local team. From then onwards, I started developing as a footballer. And for that, I need to thank my dad a lot. He's one of the reasons I'm here today. I was a crazy kid. Crazy boy. I've always been super humble. I like spending time with my family. I don't really recall going out in the evening. I had no time for that because I started playing football at a young age. At the start, I was just a kid and just wanted to have fun and play football with my friends. I never thought it could be something so serious. But from the moment I started to grow and develop, And when I signed for Porto, I knew that responsibilities were different. From then on, everything became very serious, and thankfully, I've managed to make it and be here today. There was a phase, it wasn't necessarily that I did not want to play football, but I did question if I wanted to be a footballer. I'm here for a particular reason. Is it going to work out? This is when I was 14 at Porto, where I wasn't really playing much and my body also didn't help me. However, I started to develop in other areas and work on my intelligence. And then he said Mario Silva was an inspiration for him, people. Mario really interacted well. He understood the players and he brought out the best in me. It was great to see him working, and he really helped me develop to a level I have never been at before. My first year for Porto at the Drago, he says, in relation to career highs, he said that this was my dream since I was a kid. I started playing for Porto when I was 8, and I only left at the start of this season. So I spent 15 years repping Porto. It was a dream come true scoring for Porto at the Dragao. He then said, it's a club that I identify with. It's one of the biggest clubs in England, and everyone knows it. There have always been world-class players who have played for Arsenal. And when I saw the project and how I would fit into the project, it was a no-brainer to join Arsenal. This is a process. I'm slowly integrating myself into a new country, a new culture, different weather. Everything is running smoothly. We are currently first. We are having a great season so far, and we have to carry on working in the same way. He then went on and said, praise the fan base. They've been fantastic. Since I've arrived, I've always felt their support, and I even have my own song already. Big him up. This makes you happy that you are recognized and you have support from them, whether we're home or away. They're always there, and it's an extra motivation for us. It's been like that in all games. In the Premier League, the fans are very passionate. The stadiums are always full, and our fans are the best. Big him up. He said the biggest influences for me are Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Ronaldo, not because he's Portuguese. I mean, a bit of it, but he's really someone who inspires others with his work ethic, how he had to leave his family and his comfort zone to sign for Sporting True, and for him to build the career that he has inspires everyone. Messi is more to do with my style of play. I'm similar to Messi. I know what you mean, but dangerous, and I appreciate the way he plays. I mean, Messi might be Marga, but you don't get moved off the ball, my guy. I've met Ronaldo. I met him with the national team as we were both be at the gym. He always provides support and gives advice to young players. Careful, they say Cristiano is not humble. I think we have a strong group here. We all get along very well. We are united. Everyone likes to spend time with each other, and I think that is a key point in football. We always inspire each other. He then went on to say, I find it quite natural to play as it's just a football game. Only twice I was nervous before a game. My first game in the Champions League for Porto against Man City at the Etihad, where there were no fans, and also my first game against Benfica for Porto. And then he obviously bigged up his granddad, who unfortunately passed away. So yeah, big up Fabio Vieira on that, man. That was an interesting sort of piece from you. What else has been said? Nothing on Arsenal, really. Shout out our under-21s who drew against Crystal Palace yesterday. But yeah, it seems like that was all there is to say on him. What's the time on the clock? 55:50. Let's call it that. That makes the timestamps really and truly, and makes them very easier for us people. 81 likes. Keep running them up, folks. Appreciative. Oh, what else are you lot saying? Slap the word supercomputer on something and people take it as gospel. Amen. Come on, DG. You have to believe. Where did I say I don't believe? If we keep doing what we're doing, but I'm not just going to shout I believe for no reason. We need to keep going where we're going. Keep doing what we're doing, not behave like we've won anything. I don't believe Arsenal are winning the league title. I hope we do. I hope these talking points remain all season because it means we get top 4. But there's a certain level of consistency that I think we're yet to establish and we're yet to fully go with. And I definitely don't think we're getting 99 points. I think negativity and positivity, they're both in the same realm where people just let it warp them from reality. We've still got an element of self-capitulation in our team. We still, at times make things harder for ourselves. We still show naiveties, even as great as Nottingham Forest was. We should have killed the game in the first game. I think we need to learn on the transition. We do a lot of silly things. I don't know for our squad depth. We have a young team with inexperience. It's not how good you are at your best. How good are you at your worst to win a league title? of course, I love the fact that we're top of the table and near enough thereabouts at the moment. I love the collectiveness of what we're doing. I love the individual play. I like the relationships being built. I love what Mikel Arteta is doing. I like players are reacting to adversity a bit better. I like the points tally. You know, I like the fact that when people all over the pitch, I've seen Saliba, Gabriel, Ramsdale, many a player make mistakes and we get on with it. But I'm not going to lead that to make me think we're going to win leagues at 99 points. And again, nobody wants Arsenal to win a league title more than me, but I'm not going to come out here and say foolishness. Believing in what? Like, I believe in our opportunity to get top 4, and there's question marks if we don't. If you want the league title, keep doing what you're doing, and it's still a talking point. If you get to May and there's 4 games left and you still got this, then you'll see a bit more league title specific optimism from me. But for me, top 4 first, and until top 4 is mathematically confirmed, then that's all I want. I don't care if you finish 1st or 4th. I need Champions League football next season, or there has to be question marks. There has to be over everybody connected to this club. So hopefully it continues. Believe again, what have I said that isn't believing? I'm not gonna come out here and say foolishness just because you lot want to hear me say foolishness. Ignorance is bliss. If I thought like some of you, I probably would say the same things. Wish we go for Mitrovic, gonna cost more than he's probably worth. Big up Fabio. Would it be too much to ask for another 9 this January window? Love Jesus, but some competition for him would be really great for Arsenal, considering we can offer Champions League in brackets. I hope it'd be lit, but it'll be elite. It'll be lit, but you'd imagine centre mid and right wing need to be addressed before that. Obviously, if we can do something, you know, if you can find, like, I don't know how much Torres is going to cost from Orlando. Probably, you know, double what they bought him for, that 7 odd million. But he isn't going to cost 50 million like Pedro Neto, or even upwards where Rafinha is. So if you can find a similar sort of emerging sort of talent, a profile, a lesser known name that can play up front and bring something to the table different to what Eddie or Jesus can have, or bring something to a bigger level, by all means do it. Who wouldn't want that? As much as I love Bukayo Saka, if you could find a young player out there that's better than Saka and he wants to play for us, bring him. If you can find a manager that's better than Mikel Arteta and that's what we wanted to do, bring him. If you can find a better technical staff than they do, bring him. I always want the best for the club. If you can get the best individuals, respectfully, I'm not saying anyone needs to get clipped or anything like that. Bring them. Especially if there's Champions League next year. Again, we hope, we pray. Bring them to the carpet, man. What do you think this is?